something. Bavuma is not tempted. End of the over, 65 for 4. And the video's coming on to C2 Dean Elgar. Fantastic.
It has been good.
We're seeing the
got the pictures of the batsmen. They've got Elgar and Bavuma next to each other, and their eyes at the same height. And you're like, there is no way in reality that those two would have their eyes at the same.
No, not unless Bavuma is jumping while he's taking.
or Elgar's kneeling down.
I did enjoy from the first test. There was a great shot of Temba Bavuma leaping 1.5 feet in the air to high five Mornay Morkel.
Oh, Bavuma's great. I am so glad that he did well in the first innings. I think
he's a very good player. He's very organised.
He really is, and I think I've been wondering a little bit who, like, up until 18 months ago, who was going to come in for South Africa. They had quite a few kind of ageing players, and they were losing people. And actually, there's been a few people who've come in recently, and I think Bavuma is at the head of that pack, who are really promising.
Of the new players they brought in recently, Heino Kuhn will probably get the last test, you'd imagine.
Yeah, but he's not set the world on fire.
No, he hasn't. He's just all right, but hasn't really got a score of note. We'll pick up on that after this, but we should be having a change relatively soon, possibly. In comes Roland Jones, bangs that one in again to Dean Elgar, who again self-protectively flails at it and flails effectively. Back to the bowler, there is no run. It is currently 5-6 here in England.
Okay, I was just checking what time the supermarket's open till, but it's fine. It's till 11. It's all good.
Juliet Clancy, she's at the Oval. Sue, so gorgeous and sunny now.
Oh, nice.
Lawrence Crusty, Bunga, very different from Bungles, I imagine.
In comes Roland Jones, and solidly defended by Dean Elgar. He's much happier with the ball pitched up with his hands in their current state. Into the offside, there is no runs here. Stian van Sale didn't look particularly convincing.
No, it's a shame. I really liked him, mainly because he was really polite when I asked for his autograph at the airport once.
Grateful, presumably.
Probably yes. Yeah, probably.
Well, Stephen Cook is now out of the picture.
Yeah, where is that?
He had a catastrophic tour of New Zealand. And hasn't scored any runs for Durham this year either.
It's not been great.
That's a good short ball from Roland Jones, but nicely ducked by Elgar. His back is working, if nothing else is. Through to Bairstow, there is no run.
You think like someone like Cook would be able to come again, wouldn't he?
Stephen Cook's quite old.
Oh, is he?
Stephen Cook's
he's older than you think, yeah.
Stephen Cook's he's 34 or something.
Is he really?
Yeah. He was one of the older debutants for South Africa for quite a while. And he's had one of those techniques which is, it looked so weird that you'd have to score quite a lot of runs to convince me. Having a 3-person change at the end of this over, which is, and the third ball of which is pushed off the back, fourth ball of which rather is pushed off the back foot by Dean Elgar. Nicely fielded by Dawid Malan on the bounce at short leg, or quite tall leg. There is no run. That's a very good stretch, actually. That's the advantage of having a bigger man at short leg.
Yeah, that's true. There is that. But, yeah, no, if you've got someone who's fairly dainty, like delicate, but also large, then that's probably the best.
Oh, there's also a sort of leg gully in play. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men round the bat. God, I love Test cricket when it gets like this. Well, that's Test cricket when it gets like anything. On the bounce, but past Dawid Malan. In fairness, I think had the short leg not been there, no one would have remarked on that, to be honest. Malan has to chase a fair way back with the leg guards and the helmet. Elgar picks up 2. In fact, that's nicely run. He moves to
ऑलरेडी थी। looking to fight to stay in the match. As it was, by the time it came England's turn to have a go, second go with the bat, the game was already out of reach, essentially.
Yes. I mean, I don't know that the toss has been that crucial, because actually, although England won the toss and decided to bat, we said at the end of the day, and I think Faf du Plessis said at the beginning, in fact, when he was interviewed after losing the toss, that he wasn't too disappointed to have lost that toss. And as we saw, the ball actually moved around most of the day. The only advantage perhaps England got was it was really dark and dim on the second afternoon, and the lights were on. That might have all had an effect. As we look at the South African wickets in this innings, Toby Rowland-Jones taking Hashim Amla for the second time in this test, which is not a bad man to have on your CV a couple of times. And then we saw Stokes get in on the act with York. To dismiss De Cocker. I feel hasn't really had the chance to show us the kind of player he is in this series yet, because at one point he was down at number 8 effectively, I think in the first test, when he did hit a really nice 50, and then he seems to have been cleaned up by some pretty decent deliveries.
Yeah, right. Tony Bishop says, about to head off whale watching, but finding it hard to drag myself away from guerrilla cricket at the moment, to which I'd say, well, look, we're currently in a position where England are in a home series against South Africa, about to take the lead again. That doesn't happen often. It hasn't happened this century, so stick around with us, because you may not get to hear this again for a long time.
There is a new bowler into the attack, and it is our first sight of spin. It's this man.
Our beard shouldn't touch. Move over, Amlo. I like it too much. Move over, Amlo. You're one hairy dish. I love unconditionally. It's Moeen Ali.
First couple of balls he goes back to and just plays down to the man at short leg. That is now Keaton Jennings at short leg. Here he is again. He's coming in from the Vauxhall end. Tosses that one up and it doesn't turn, and it beats. Bavuma pressing forward. Lucky perhaps to get away with that. Lovely revs, lovely dip on that from Moeen. He's back to the end of his run up.
Jeff Perkins says, who needs well? Watching when Facebook Live is available.
Played off the faces back through the. Non-existent gully position. Toby Rowland-Jones hairs after it, and they get back for 2.
Must be said that Blue Whale moves with rather more grace than I do.
I like the idea of Tony. I thought Tony could actually take guerrilla cricket out on the boat with him. If that's where you're going, on a boat to do some whale watching and play us.
The recurring percent of your daughters are correct. It's the 33.3 daughters that are entirely incorrect.
What, you think he's a luscious-looking fella, do you?
He is the god of sex and violence, and you'd be wrong to think otherwise.
The god of sex and violence. I'll see if I can get that into my report later. Anyway, it is the god of sex and violence who is about to continue from the pavilion end, as very impressive figures of 2 for 23. He only got 30 odd today, but he batted in a very aggressive and attacking manner, adjusting his game once more to the demands of the team. Here he comes round the wicket to Dean Elgar. It's a horrible ball down the leg side, which Johnny Bairstow skips down to his right to take.
Yeah, he was a bristling innings, wasn't it? It was just...
Every ball he was trying to hit,
he was pumped up, wasn't he?
Yeah. And quite right at that point, because that's where England really needed to push on. And in the end, they did very well. He got the innings going. Root perhaps got the innings going. He came in as well. And from there on, really, batsmen were in attacking vein. Back goes Elgar guiding this to square cover, and they come through for a run. Bizarrely, I suddenly looked from behind short leg and realised that there was no batsman anywhere near, but Bavuma does get there, and that brings Elgar a Test 50, his 9th Test 50 in 38 tests. He also has 700s. He's not always easy on the eye, but you always have to admire the effort he puts in.
50 years they've been married. They can't wait for the 51st to roll around. Yeah.
77 balls, 7 fours. It was dropped, of course, on 9. It was a very difficult chance for Keaton Jennings diving away to his left and low off James Anderson. Bavuma facing. Oh, he's beaten him. Has he got an edge to that? I think he has.
Yes. There's a big appeal.
I don't think so. Not according to umpire Aleem Dar. Stokes, the sex of God and violence, the god of sex and violence, thought that was out. Not sure about Bairstow. I think he thought it was out. Root is trying to dissuade him from a review, and seems to have managed to do that. He was absolutely adamant, Stokes. I'd like to see that again, and I'd like to see a little bit of ultra edge. Has he hit outside this? I think he hit outside this. Oh no, he's inside that. Ooh, very difficult to tell from that angle. It's very difficult to tell. He's looking back worriedly. Is Bavuma, but nothing showing on ultra edge.
Oh, hold.
Oh, hang on.
That's bat on pad.
That's bat on pad. Because by the time the spike comes,
that's an excellent piece of work by Joe Root.
And an excellent piece of work by Aleem Dar. He could have taken the insurance of giving it, and Bavuma having to review it, but no. Here he comes again into Bavuma. That's I thought that had got through his defences. Low on the pad, there would have been an appeal, I'm sure, but somehow he's just got a bit of bat down at the last minute, and it's speared away down to fine leg. Has it gone all the way? We're not actually seeing the result. That's a good delivery, though. Oh, hang on. He was already on 13, wasn't he, Bavuma? So, they got a 1. They got 1. So there was a man down there, but we didn't see that thanks to the camera work. Stokes continues now to Elgar. He's over the wicket and he throws in a Yorker, which he digs out, and then the ball runs to gully. And this is a wonderful spell of bowling from Ben Stokes. It really is. He's developed into such a fascinating cricketer to watch. When his ganders up with the ball, we know what he can do with the bat. Digs out and then the ball runs to gully. But also when he's inspired, as he is this evening. Elgar, 50 not out, waits again for Stokes to complete his 8th over. It's outside leg stump, and he clips that nicely through the unguarded mid-wicket area. That is going to speed away to the boundary sponge. It's 4 more to Elgar. South Africa at 96 for 4.
You gotta have fun, you gotta have fun to be
the good news for South Africa is the target is now under 400.
Hey, and when that gets down under 400, it's a big psychological advantage.
Tony Bishop loves the idea of playing guerrilla cricket to Wales and asks, can Hendo click like a dolphin?
Does that work? Not really.
Haystack Jr. says, I don't tweet much and I'm really jet lagged at the moment. Big thanks to everyone for the comments today. Kept me just about sane. It's a public service.
That's wonderful. Thanks for taking the effort, or making the effort to email us or tweet us and tell us that's what keeps us going, really, along with a lot of money.
And Derek Willis says that he reckons the Wales would respond to the bear.
Moeen Ali starts a new over, and Bavuma is right across his stumps, defending from outside off stump almost. Broad is warming up again, so yes, I think we're going to perhaps see a change at Ben Stokes' end. Mowing continues in to Bavuma. Oh, he leaves that one, which jumps a little bit, turns a little bit, but not sufficiently to endanger the stumps.
It's a confident leave.
And it was a confident leave. It definitely sort of pitched in a bit of a foothold.
6 inches further in the middle of the foothold. That would be very interesting.
That would have been, yes. Yes, it was just on the edge of the foothold, wasn't it? He's got a man at silly mid-off. He's got a slip and he's got a forward short leg. And in he comes again. He goes back to this one and then pushes it to Root, who's now positioned himself at a shortish mid-wicket. He's about 10 or 12 metres from the ball, from the back. Rather, should I say? Bavuma is on 13 not out. Did great work in the first. Innings got them past the follow-on target. Not that England would necessarily have imposed that.
Because the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics tone in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys. Guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly I can't breathe in this fucker. Because the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics tone in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly I can't breathe in this fucker. Because the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics tone in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly I can't breathe in this fucker. Is the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics turn in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly, I can't breathe in this fucker. Is the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics turn in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly, I can't breathe in this fucker. Is the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics turn in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly, I can't breathe in this fucker. Is the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics turn in our discourse, but wants a mother box joke. Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to be loosening my waistcoat because for the Facebook views, because frankly, I can't breathe in this fucker. Is the ball would have changed the way it span. Nick Nelson says he's very pleased with the comics turn in our
Greetings. Ali is to continue. He's played 3 overs. He's gone for 6 runs but taken no wickets. He's actually not conceded a run in either of his last 2 overs. So there's a slip and he's going for runs this time as it's worked behind the leg side, and Toby Rowland-Jones, the man of the moment, is in and he's fielding. So 61 runs. They've taken a quick pair of runs there. Score is 103 for 4. The target remains at 492, obviously. Yeah, Ali has... the field. There is a slip. There's a very short mid-off and a square leg. There's also a fair few other close-in fielders. And, that's worked behind square on the offside. And it goes through for one of these.
2 + 2 is a man.
That was a bit lucky. He had a big flare.
He had a big flash of that.
It did go away from him. It went aerial through, probably where second slip would be. But he did flash hard, and it gets away.
Absolutely. Look, if you can flash hard, said the guy in the raincoat to me once on Tooting Back Common.
Well, Derek Willis gets back. He says no relation, but his dad's name was Robert.
Okay. Was as Ali's in again. A defensive shot, and it just spins a little bit away from Elgar for no run.
You'd always fancy your chances more, wouldn't you, Van, to fall into a left-hander as a right-arm spinner?
Absolutely. As Ali, he is in once more, and it's driven nicely, but it's straight to long off, and there is no run.
He really is hanging up there in the classic. Yeah, just give it some air. Yeah,
absolutely.
You would do at club cricket.
Absolutely. Well, that's the way to go, I think, at the moment. As Ali is in once more, and it hits Elgar on the pads, and everyone goes up in appeal, but it's quite high, and I think it was sliding a long way down the leg. Johnny Bairstow is smiling and he's nodding his head, and I think he's got a couple of words to say to Dean Elgar there, possibly along the lines of, "You're very lucky there, my friend." As Ali, he's in for the last ball of his over. He's at the top of the mark, and he comes in, and it's driven straight back to him along the ground. End of the over. South Africa are 107 for 4. Bavuma remains on 13. Dean Elgar is on 65 not out. Ali, no wickets for 12 runs. Any tweets?
No, we haven't got any more tweets.
Okay.
Everyone's kind of gone sleepy, but there is 21 minutes left according to the clock at the Oval. A minimum, a maximum They won't get them in even. 8 overs of the day left. It'd be nice to get another wicket tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very much of the opinion that if they're going to leave overs remaining at the end of the day's play, that both teams should be woken up at a random hour of the middle of the night and dragged out of their beds to play in whatever it is they happen to be wearing when they went to bed at night.
Well, that'd be quite entertaining. Under floodlights at 3 in the morning.
Absolutely.
But will we have to get up and commentate on it?
I don't care. But it'd be quite nice to wake up to find out that 77 runs have been scored for another 2 wickets in 6 overs whilst you were asleep.
That'd
because
be
a bunch of very tired cricketers have played some very terrible cricket in the interim. As Broad continues, he's coming in and he bowls to Bavuma, who lets it go outside off stump. It's shapes away just a little bit and there's no run.
They're already playing for the end of play.
Oh,
kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're not interested in playing a lot.
You can't blame
to be fair,
them.
I think Bavuma never really looks particularly aggressive. He always seems to be an accumulator rather than a big stroke maker. And I think that's going to may go against him in the long term of his career.
Well, there's 2 brands of the number 6 batsman. There's the Ben Stokes. Oh my God, I'm going to hit this for 4 brand. And then there's the Paul Collingwood, I'm going to rescue the team.
Yeah, I'm the Gus Logie.
Yeah, as Broad is in. And it's defended into the offside. They look like they're going to take a run for a moment, but really there's no legs on the ball, and it's fielded by mid-off for no run. Yeah, you got Guslow, you got Paul Collingwood, the ones that are there principally to rescue you from whatever tail dive you've managed to get your team into. And I think Bavuma's that kind of a batsman. He's going to be one that you go, what is the point of him until your team is 61 for 4? And you desperately need someone to figure out how to protect their wicket. He puts a price on his wicket. He says, you might not get me for many runs, but I will keep you out on this field of play for as long as it takes. As Broad is in once more, and it's defended nicely into the ground by Bavuma.
He does, but with Philander or Morris batting at 7, you'd have to argue that I think South Africa are a batsman light.
I need to bowl closer to his off stump to go into play. James Shepherd, Dickwella says, I did get some Ian Botham souvenir type thing once from a British friend when I was like 10. Probably should have saved it. James Shepherd says, short Bavuma makes me nervous. Top of stumps is a bouncer for him.
Yeah, possibly.
Short people play bouncers quite well, though, historically.
As Broad is in once more, and again it's left through as it goes through to the keeper. It's end of the over, 107 for 4. Broad is 1 for 25 from his 8 overs.
I am wondering why Anderson hasn't been seen for at least an hour and a half now.
But bear in mind there was, possibly. Although I think it's largely because they kind of don't want to overbowl him. He's got 4 more tests this summer, and he's got a possible Ashes series. And I think that Ashes series might be one tour too many.
Who's
personally?
That?
Anderson.
Yeah, we've been saying that all summer. You wonder whether he'll go. But the thing is, if he takes some wickets here and he's in form, they won't. It's difficult to drop him.
The thing is, you could always
send him home. Yeah, but you could always send him home.
Yeah, he's the last man standing essentially from the
05.
Well, no. I mean, he didn't actually play an 05 because they'd managed to crock him again. As Ali is in, and it's pushed through into the offside for no run.
That was why they were trying to change his action, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's the last man standing really from Fletcher. I mean, I know Cook was playing under Fletcher, but only for a year or so before Fletcher finally conceded defeat after the World Cup. As Ali's in again, and some nice defensive shot there as Elgar just prods it back through for Jennings to pass back to Ali. Yeah, the thing is that he's been an England player for so long. I mean, he's played more than 100 tests as a fast bowler. As Ali is in again, and again another defensive shot, pushing it back to him.
He is wily. I mean, this is it. We argued this in the Bangladesh series. With modern travel these days and the fact that you're only ever sort of 24-hour, I mean, even Australia's 22, 24-hour flight. If you have troubles mid-series, you can always send for replacements, you know.
You can, but you're also sending for replacements as, again, Elgar just lets it go outside off stump. You're sending for replacements, though, who may not have played a competitive match for 3 months or more, which is your main worry.
It's your bloody job, getting a fucking net and get on with it.
Yeah, as Ali's in again, and it's pushed through to into the offside, and it's fielded by backwards Point, who runs up.
And also, some people
underneath bit. You got a neck bid, mate. You look like you should be doing. Homebrews in southern Alabama, as he comes in with that big lolloping gait of his, and he bowls, and it's far too wide outside off stump to Bavuma. He lets it go. Johnny Bairstow can't even make a clean catch of it, and now Root is signalling to his fielders, probably saying, for God's sake, guys, can one of you please come drop a wicket here? I'd quite like guaranteed
straight victory. I mean, he keeps bowling a foot and a half outside off stump. Bavuma's having nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
Kev Batgirl says 111 feet up. My feet are up. If you saw Facebook Live, you'd know. My lovely feet are resting on a table.
They are lovely feet. As really. Jimmy is stretching little, and Broad is in once more. That's at least aiming towards the stumps this time. It's defended nicely towards mid-on for no run. Any other tweets?
No, that's it. We're up to date. Doesn't seem to have worn thin, or doesn't realise that the game's going on till 7 o'clock.
Yeah, possibly. Also, it's Sunday evening. I imagine people are spending some time with their family, having spent 2 days with us.
Don't want to do that.
There are probably wives and children at this stage of the summer who are wondering what the hell Daddy looks like these days.
Don't say that. My wife might get angry.
As Broad is in once more, and he bowls, and it's a bit closer to off stump this time, but it's pushed out to the finer of the gullies, who is Ben Stokes. He kind of shells it a bit and pushes it on to the other gully, and there is no run.
Just look like all the intensity's gone out of the game. They're all looking towards 7 o'clock.
Everyone wants to finish it. Well, if they've bloody got their overs in earlier, they could all be on their way home by now. And I know it's not entirely England's fault because they were actually batting for most of the day, but even so, they've not exactly got a hurry on with it. Sorry. I'm sounding like they're being outside cricket blog here, as Broad is in once more, and this time he's much closer, and he forces a stroke, and it's defended to gully by Bavuma, who is on 13 off of 47 balls. So, yeah.
I'd be tempted to give Jimmy another couple of overs before the end of the day.
Definitely. He looked properly threatening in his first spell.
And he looked particularly cheesed off when we saw a picture of him in his sweater a couple of moments ago as well.
Yeah. And
no, maybe this is a reverse psychology. Get him grumpy so he'll bowl well.
I think this is the first time in a long time he feels like he's got to prove the worth of his place.
Derek Willis says, still intently choosing you over the family. Thanks, Derek.
Possibly. As Broad is in once more, and this time it's two leg sidey, and Bavuma's worked it off his hips. It's going to be fielded by Amler behind square on the leg side.
Amler?
That's by Moeen. It's the fucking beards.
Yeah.
I only have space in my brain
one's
for
an English
one beard.
One's a South African beard.
I only have space in my brain for one beard, that lustrous, and with Alim Dar as well. I'm trying to keep them all straight in my head. So, Bavuma has taken 2 runs from that. He's up to 15. There's one more ball left in the over.
Oh, Alim's is quite well manicured, if that's the right word for it.
Yeah, Alim's is a much neater affair.
Tailored, probably.
Absolutely. As Broad is in, and he bowls, and it's a bit close to off stump, and there's a bit of movement from Bavuma's bat, but he decides not to prod at it, and it goes through to the keeper for no run. Broad is 1 for 27. Bavuma is 15 off of 49 balls. The score is 113 for 4. Target is 492. Any other tweets?
Yep, Dave Wood says my other half is 6,000 miles away, so you're stuck with me. That's all right, Dave.
No worries, buddy.
6,000 miles away, it's halfway around the world.
That is, yeah. That's
from here, where's that?
I think
China?
that's Dar es Salaam, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe that's 6,000 kilometres.
Clark Kant says just getting ready for work, but I'm listening.
Where do you work? Let us know.
Well, he works in a newspaper office, obviously. He takes off his glasses and his thing, and he flies out the window.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Way Pom says, hey, don't knock the beard. No one's knocking the beard.
The beard's not the problem. My facial recognition is the problem. Yep, as predicted, this man is back.
Yeah, it's a good move.
Possibly. Do we have the jingle for him?
We've got lots of jingles here.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
So Jimmy is surveying his territory as he comes in. He's going over the wicket to the left-handed Elgar, and that was a weird non-shot from Elgar, who kind of looks as if he wants to play it, then looks as if he doesn't want to, and he spins around as it passes him on its way through to the keeper. Anderson is looking bemused by that. It's like, yeah, that's a weird reaction from Elgar.
Determined not to play at the ball. Rob Gadd says, greeting chaps, is there a compulsory barefoot rule? You're offending my spouse. I think it's only me with bare feet. I firmly believe in not wearing shoes indoors, and as I own this place, and I don't believe in wearing socks in the summer when it's warm. So unfortunately you are stuck with my feet.
As Anderson is in again, and this time it's defended behind square on the offside by Elgar for no run. The thing is, I take my shoes and socks off, but then I have a tendency to play with my toes, so I keep them on so that I don't offend my hosts here.
I'm sorry to your wife, Rob Gadd. Sorry, Mrs. Gadd.
Sorry. But
it probably doesn't help that I'm closest to the camera and got quite a wide lens, and my feet are probably quite big in the camera.
Quite possibly. Also, I have a tendency to believe that clothing is an affront to God, as Anderson is again, and this time it's worked nicely off the hips. It nutmegs Alim Dar's square egg umpire, and they run through. They take a few runs there. They take 2 quick runs as it's fielded by a backward square leg, and score is now 115 for 4. Yeah, my other concern is that I'll take my shoes and socks off, then I'll think, fuck it, and take the rest of my clothes off, and you guys really don't want to see that. It's like seeing a bunch of pipe cleaners with a mop on top, just to give you some idea.
Lost and Lonesome says, oh dear, Billy the Strumpet has awoken the drunk lads. Hush now.
Oops. As Anderson is in once more, and he bowls, and it's a bit outside edgy as he defends through to point, and they take no run.
Of course, this makes a change to the Oval Test this year. It's not the last test of the series.
It's not.
It wasn't the last test of the series last time South African town. It was the first test of the series. I don't know if that necessarily means anything, but...
well, normally, traditionally on the last day of the Test series, the Barmies go completely mad.
Yeah. As Jimmy is in again, and it's outside off stump and left alone as it goes through to the keeper.
Particularly when it's Australia and they get very, very, very drunk indeed.
Well, to be fair, traditionally by that point, it's the only test that England are likely to win all summer. It's only in the last few years that England have been a bit disappointing in London.
Yes, but God Save the Queen being sung for the third time during the day does tend to...
Well, it does,
Great.
Yeah. As Anderson again, and that's a much better. It's closer to off stump and it's rising a bit, and it hits Elgar on the top of his bat, and he looks a bit uncomfortable. So there's no more runs. Anderson is off. He's got 0 for 18 off of 7 overs. The score is 115 for 4. Elgar's on 71 off 109 balls, and Bavuma is on 15 not out. Any other tweets?
Yeah, Anna Forsyth says, when you're sad and alone, you don't have to explain cricket absences, cricket-related absences to anyone. Carl Deck says, both teams are so fragile this series that it feels like all 3 results are still on the table. Fine, hopeful for South. That's very hopeful for South African. Rod Gadd has tweeted a picture, which I'm going to look at. It looks like his front room. Ah, look at that. He's got the cricket on the telly, probably us on the radio. He's got a wood burner, which he's boiling a kettle on.
Nice.
And his dog is looks very relaxed asleep underneath the sofa.
I guess he's not in the Northern Hemisphere
Underneath the telly.
Broad is continuing. He comes into bowl to Bavuma, and it's closer to the off stump this time, but Bavuma is up to challenge. He defends it to gully for no run.
How can we... Rob, I've seen the photo. Your dog does certainly not look stressed out. He looks comfortably asleep underneath the telly and happy. Lost and Lones says, blimey, it's nippy here at the Oval now. Ooh, cold.
Yeah. It's overcast. You look outside and there's definitely a breeze going on, judging by the oak tree outside here, back window. As Broad, he is in again, and it's left alone outside off stump. There's still nothing there really to tempt him.
Make them fucking play.
Yeah, you've got 491 runs to play with.
They're not going to play out there at this time of day, are they?
Yeah. Just, aim for the stumps.
Moeen's getting hassled into...
Signing his back,
doing selfies.
Go Greg Chappell, underarm it. See what that does.
He's never washing that shirt again, is he?
Absolutely not. Broad in once more, and again outside the off stump, a bit closer though, but it's still safely let through to the keeper. Any other tweets?
No. But I would suggest that you bring in a short leg, maybe a leg slip, and bowl out the stumps.
Absolutely. Do you concur?
Yeah, this is somewhat turgid end of day play at the moment.
Yeah, both teams I think have had their fill of the Oval today, I think.
Well, I don't see why England aren't trying to make everything uncomfortable for the South African batsmen.
Probably because they're a bit exhausted. As Broad, he is in once more. He comes up and he bowls, and it's defended. This time it does aim for the stumps, but it is pushed into the offside by Bavuma for no run.
I mean, this is looking very comfortable for the batsman at the moment.
It is.
It is indeed.
And I'm more and more impressed with Bavuma every time I see him bat. He's got the right temperament.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Bavuma's average does not flatter actually what he brings to the team.
I mean, he's averaging early 30s, I think, now.
But his average is going in the right direction is the thing. It's not like he's stuck there. It's very clear that he's getting better all the time. Broad, he's in once more, and this time it's defended to gully. It's not quite in control of that. There is a little bit of outside edge, but still nice soft hands, and it falls way short of Ben Stokes in the gully region.
Maybe try a short ball now. He's bowled 2 overs outside off stump. All quite full.
Well, no one's really tried a short ball at
for a while,
have they?
No. Rob Gadd says his dog is avoiding looking at the feet. That's rubbish. I've seen the photo, Rob. Your dog's comfortably asleep. Lost and Known says they keep getting a chant skew with, chanting Jimmy when Broad is bowling. Stupid drunken irritating.
Yeah. As Broad, he is in once more, and again, a bit close to the stumps. It's defended. They think about a run, but decide to abort it when it's obvious that there's about 3 fielders converging on the close mid-off position to field it and possibly throw it on the stumps. So, end of Broad's over. He's on 1 for 27. There were no runs from that over. Jimmy is to continue. It should be the last over. They'll be, 3 overs short today?
Yeah,
maybe
it's not
4.
so bad.
It's not
so bad.
They've still had an awful long time to bowl their overs.
They've got 4 early wickets. They've got good inroads. They've got a whole day tomorrow to get 6.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing
it's always hard to come back and start. And you'd fancy, get an early wicket tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And that's the other thing that South Africa will be playing for, is to knacker England's bowlers on back-to-back tests.
Possibly, although I think their bowlers are pretty knackered themselves. And Anderson is in, and it's defended by Elgar, but not entirely convincingly there as he pushes it towards mid-off. Elgar, I think it's starting. Elgar was looking very, very comfortable when he was smacking the ball for 4. He doesn't look so comfortable in defence.
No, I think his hands are hurting, aren't they? He's shaking them. James Shepherd's at the stumps now. You guys are right. Yeah, of course we're bloody right. We're always right.
It's what I'm here for. As Anderson, he's now scraping out his mark at the top of his run. So
he's going to go around the wicket, I think.
I think so, yeah. I think that's the right idea, to the left-hander.
And of course, if a wicket falls now, it's the last over. They will go off the field anyway.
Well, yes, I suppose they will. As Anderson is in and he bowls, and it's again defended to the onside. It goes, again bit inside edge. They do go through for a quick single.
It's almost as if Bavuma has been asked to play as a night watchman for Elgar at the moment, because Elgar's hands are hurting so much. He just wants to get off the pitch and get them treated.
Elgar's the only one that has looked today like he is the equal of this bowling.
Well, and he was dropped on 9.
Yeah. But, again, I think it's all for naught, really, because after they, assuming they do take a wicket early tomorrow morning, they're then into the bowlers, and Philander is poorly. Chris Morris is unpredictable, as Anderson is in again, and it's a nice defensive shot from Bavuma there, who pushes it straight back to him. And then... Yeah, Morris is unpredictable. He can give it the long handle, but I don't think he can play a long innings. And Rabada and Maharaj and Morkel are very definite 9-10 jack bowlers and batsmen.
And I think we've probably seen the best of those 3 already in this test.
Yeah.
No, the chances of them repeating that are not high.
Especially as this pitch is not going to get any easier to bat on tomorrow morning. So, Anderson, he's in once more. He bowls to the right-hander Rabada, and he pushes it back, and there's a little bit of excitement, but it's very obvious it was hit into the ground first.
That was a very nice shot.
It was, yeah. Anderson is moving back to his mark with that lovely bouffant hair of his.
Dave Wood says, thanks for keeping me entertained all day. Bloody work tomorrow, so won't be with us. Why not, Dave? Surely just get your phone on.
I'll be with you guys. I'm at work tomorrow. I'll be telling my colleagues that they can deal without me for a while. As Anderson is in again, and it's defended through into the onside where it's fielded, I think, by Moeen, and there's no run.
Should be last ball of the day.
Yes, it's now gone 7 officially, so definitely. Yeah, Jimmy Anderson, he hasn't taken any wickets, but he's definitely looked threatening. He looks like he's making the batsman play. That's the thing. He's bowled a lot better after he got taken out of the attack on Friday after 3 overs rather. He is in once more for the last ball of the day, and it's a nice ball, and Bavuma defends it into the onside behind square. They run through for a quick single, and I believe that will be that.
It should indeed be that.
Yeah. Anderson gets his shades and his baseball cap back, and yep, that is stumped. So, match situation. South Africa in all sorts of trouble. They're 117 for 4. There's been a little bit of a recovery in the last few overs. They've batted for 38 overs in this evening session. The target is 492. They're not going to get anywhere near that. They just don't have enough time. To bat that tomorrow, and the question is going to be, can their middle order, the lower middle order and tail save the match for them? The English heart says yes, they'll manage it. 4 wickets down, 430 runs on the board, but the head really does say they're not going to make it. Any further last tweets for the evening?
Let me have a quick look.
Okay. Oh, we've lost the tweet deck.
No, we haven't. Yes, we have. We've had a few. Adelaide Barm. He says, happy birthday, by the way, I go to cricket. Best thing to happen to cricket commentary since the invention of the valve transistor. Thank you very much. Thanks again for the coverage, says from Darkest Peru. I'm going to give you a rundown of the score.
Yes, please do, because I don't have it to hand here.
Okay. That's the end of their innings. Here we are. Dean Elgart, that's their first innings. Christ, they do it very weirdly now, don't they? Oh, bloody... Here we go. Kane O'Coon was well broad for 11. He had faced 17 balls. Dean Elgar is not out 72, having faced 111. Ashley Mamler was caught rude, bowled Roland Jones. Trying to leave one, wasn't he? And he went upstairs. They weren't quite sure. But eventually it was given out, and rightly so. He got his hand underneath it. Quinton de Kock was bowled Stokes. Again, that went upstairs for a no ball, and it was fractionally not a no ball, but it was an absolute peach of a delivery. A swinging away swinger to the left-hander that yorked him. Much in a way that actually Root was out in the second innings of the second test to Chris Morris, wasn't it, last week? Similar kind of thing, but to a left-hander, and he was out for 5, having faced 6 balls. Faf du Plessis, once again, 2 times in the match, has padded up, and he was out first ball, Golden Duck. 10Bavuma then came out, and he's batted very stodily. He's got 16 or 59 deliveries and kept Elgar company. Elgar's been hit a couple of times.
It's the denouement of the third test. It's been a cracker, I think. South Africa need 375 more runs on the final day. England need more probable 6 wickets. Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk. Wherever you are in the world, welcome along to Guerrilla Cricket. And I can tell you we have an exciting morning ahead. Not just on the pitch. We have a Gary rant in the making. A Gary rant.
It's coming.
It's coming. I'm not sure quite when it will come, but it will come sometime in the next half an hour. So if you know anyone who's not listening, get onto them immediately. Tell them there's a Gary rant on the way. And I'm sure everyone will be tuning in. I'm Gorilla Hendo, and as you know, Gary is alongside me, I think for the first time in this series.
I think so.
I think he is.
Been at the last
final day of the third test, and this is our first taste of Gary. Although I'd rather not have a taste of Gary in one respect, but that's another story. On my right, suffering through the pain, is poor old stone-bound. What's your name? Not Fred.
Hello.
Yeah, it is a big man's day on the varied upholstery at Guerrilla Cricket this morning. The players are out, and Ben Stokes is marking out his run-up, and we have not only a Gary rant, but we have Gary absolutely desperate to tell me something.
Immediate news.
Yes.
From Kiwi Cali. It looks like the Ashes are on.
Yay! Right, all those people in Australia, get onto it now. Get sorted. Get us some more sponsorship. We need to get out there. We can't do it here. It's too dark. It's too cold. It's too late. It's too early. We need to come to Australia. It has to be done. I don't know. Sell your grandmother. Give us your house for 8 weeks. I don't know what else to say. 3 slips of gully, forward short leg, man at backward point, mid off, mid on, long leg. First ball of the morning. We'll jingle up in a minute. Here comes Stokes to Bavuma. Bavuma goes back, gets an inside edge down onto his pad, but no further alarm than that. A bit of a loosener from Ben Stokes, and here are the jingles.
Ben?
Ben Stokes. Nice little mover. Front foot, back foot groover. Now it will behoove ya to keep an eye
Goes on the back foot and defends the next delivery, and that's a nice sight. There is a man there with 2 incredibly blonde young children, one of each sex, and they look absolutely uninterested. They're looking at cards, it seems to me. Which at least it's not phones, and the man is holding up a flag. Oh, there's lots of children, very young children in today, presumably taking advantage of a 20-quid ticket or something like that. A pound? A pound? As much as that? Here comes Stokes again into Bavuma. It's wide of the off stump, and he leaves that alone.
So that's probably why my mate Phil's taking his 2 kids there.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So how much is it for adults?
20
quid. So if you had 2 kids and an adult, 22 quid?
Yeah.
That's not too bad, is it?
But once you add on, a flight from New Zealand, 4-course gourmet dinner with lobster thermidor, it's incredibly expensive cricket.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Absolutely right. Yeah, and apparently fish and chips there is £11.50.
11. How many chips do you get for that?
I think you get about 3 big ones. We'll come to your tweets in a minute to find out what you're thinking about the morning. As Stokes comes in again, bowls to Bavuma. Bavuma flicks that through mid-wicket. Nice shot, beautifully timed. And I think it's Toby Rowland-Jones who's running after that at mid-on. Gets there, they're going to come back for a third on the throw. And they get through comfortably enough. South Africa move to 120 for 4. They need only 372 more to win and take a 2-1 lead.
There'll only be 2 chips at Old Trafford, of course, because that's all you can balance on your shoulder.
Yeah. Well, I saw Ian Lomax was very unhappy with the news that Paul Allott is going to be director of cricket or something.
I suspect he's not.
He's not a happy chappy. Well, Dean Elgar, he's not always watchable, but he's almost always effective, and I have a lot of admiration for him. Although, from about a year or 2 ago, I really disliked watching him, but I've learned to appreciate his qualities as he turns this ball past the man at short leg towards mid for a single.
He's a lot like a kind of mirror image of Justin Langer.
Oh, I think
pulls as well as Lanka.
I thought Lanka had a little bit more fluency to his drives, I have to say. I saw someone, I think it was Mike Selvey, comparing him to Alan Border.
Oh, no.
Well,
no, I don't see that at all.
Well, I see the Border more than I see. I see the Border more than I see the Lanka. Anyway, well, we all see different things, don't we? Stokes, mainly hallucinations.
I think I get the drift.
Front foot
He wouldn't be running in hard, I can promise you that.
Well, he did when he was young. He had a breathtaking run-up, very reminiscent of Waqar Younis.
Yeah, I was just about to get there.
Wasn't to be. What's happening
Nice bowling,
here? Another little ball going off the inside half.
Yeah, Pushpa picked up his first 5-wicket haul and then was interviewed, and he was asked if he modelled this action on Waqar Younis. Waqar was already a legend.
Yeah,
Choose the call, and he goes on to ask the journalist, who's Waqar? And then he says, oh yes, the guy who bowls runs in like me. I was watching TV and I just thought, hey, there's this guy bowling like me.
No, he didn't say that.
I'm not lying here. I'm being serious.
You're
this is the
wagging
truth.
a finger at me. Sorry.
This is the truth.
Right. India won the toss this morning, and I think short of beaming, Kohli did everything, and his batsmen have responded so far. 94 for 1. Oh, that's a ball that everybody will watch very closely. 94 for 1.
What a pleasant surprise.
Mama बहुत strict है, so Mama, this is my friend Kunal.
Hello.
Hi.
आंटी आप लोग कौन?
मीनाक्षी. You can call me Meenakshi.
लोग तो नोटिस करेंगे. Wildstone Deos for Men.
Vijender Singh versus Zulfikar Maimaityali, Saturday, 5th August at 6:30 p.m. only on Sony 10-1 and Sony 10-3.
21 overs into this game. That has deviated significantly, and it's deviated with the batsman in the crease, not on the front foot.
Yeah, it was that length and a little quicker. That'll have everyone interested, even Sri Lankan batsman. Change in the commentary box.
You're not hearing me, no?
Simon Dool with Roshana Bisinga.
Thank you, Russell.
Sit up. Legs down.
Cheteshwar Pujara straight away. Nice moment. See a lot more of that nowadays, and since the tragedy of Phil Hughes, I think there's been a lot more of that concern for all.
It's always nice to see the friendship that the players have between them, and also with the umpires. I've been very surprised and pleasantly surprised at the way the umpires have been so friendly and kind to the players. They've gone that extra mile to try and ease situations and support the players, understand them much better. So well done to them. I think the ICC have done brilliantly to try and make the umpires understand the importance of managing the players.
Yeah, and this might sound a little bit strange because at times I get a little bit critical of umpires every now and then, which is not good. But I do like the way that Bruce Oxenford went about this. He thought the decision was out. I don't mind that because I think the new rules, with the new situation with the ball clipping the stumps or hitting the stumps, I actually feel that the umpires should give out more often. It puts the onus on the batsman to make sure that they know it's either not out and they review. And if it's just clipping, it's out. I mean, when you bowl a ball that misses the bat.
Well, 94 for 1, it's an interesting point to talk about. Maybe we'll try and expand a little bit more in the next over.
International Champions Cup 2017, Tottenham Hotspur versus Juventus. Saturday, August 5th, 10 p.m. Live and exclusive on Sony 10.2, Sony 10.2 HD.
So Rangana Herath will continue. So Sri Lanka obviously banking a lot on spin. I believe that Rangana Herath he's been a bit expensive by his standards. He's gone for 31 runs, but I think he's bowling with much greater rhythm. I haven't seen him bowl short. I haven't seen him bowl on either side of the pitch. He's been driven, he's been lofted, but he's generally been where he wanted to. That's around that off stump. So I think he's bowling with greater control than Gaul, that's for sure.
आपके फैमिली में कितने मेंबर्स हैं? 5। और हर मेंबर सेम नेटवर्क पर है, राइट? हाँ। उन सब का बिल आप ही भरती होंगी। और क्या? और
When it comes to the awards night as well, I presume that the umpire of the year or whoever takes that honour is dictated by players' captains' reports.
Yeah, so wouldn't all this revolve around that?
Yeah, it would. It would. The bottom line is, in this game, what we want when you're dealing with livelihoods, you want the decision to be right 99.9% of the time, if you can.
And I'm with umpires who are willing to make decisions rather than just hold it back, because you've got the DRS, the player has the option of reviewing it or not. So it's the way to go forward. And that's why I think technology has to be good. And this is why I think that the umpire's call being removed is a good one. And where you see a technical situation prevents the actual or the correct decision being made. So that's a good one.
Yeah, well, just to keep you up to date, there are 12 umpires on the elite panel. Elite panel, 12 umpires. So we've got Rod Tucker, Paul Rifle, Bruce Oxenford, Aleem Dar, Kumar Damasina, Murray Erasmus, Chris Gaffney, Ian Gould, Richard Illingworth, both from England, Richard Kettleborough from England, Nigel Long as well, Sundaram Ravi from India. Now the 12 that are on the elite panel. Pretty good umpires amongst that lot, I will say.
No doubt that they're in the elite panel. Just a little concern, the only concern is about the relegation and promotion. The relegation, it's more like the relegation. You need to have a system where you have a very fair system of relegating and promoting, because you be in the elite panel and then if you are relegated, then there has to be a proper way of evaluating and understanding. So I suppose that's where the ranking comes in, where you have the best and possibly the lowest ranked.
Yeah, I think so, and also maybe an age where you've got to retire, I think, is probably not a bad way of making sure that guys are moving on. I think outside of the likes of Chris Gaff, Richard Kettleborough, not many are into it in their 30s. Put away on the leg side, just the one from the over. 95 for one.
Hey Siri, read my schedule. Rock. Hey Siri, take a selfie. You want to see more of The Rock and Siri? Just grab your iPhone and say, hey Siri, what are you and The Rock up to?
I'm here different, but together. I'm here different, but together.
जो एक साथ है पर एक जैसे नहीं, उनके लिए है हैप्पी प्राइस कॉम्बोज। तो चिकन कबाब बर्गर के साथ कोक या मैकफिश ब्लू के साथ मैक्सिकन मेकालो टिक्की, अपनी पसंद के कॉम्बोज चूज करो और साथ एंजॉय करो।
You know, I don't know what that age might be, but let's say 57, 58, 60.
ये मकान रंगा यार।
Pick up a quick single here, maybe two, no.
So we've been looking at the relegation and looking at retirement. So I believe there is no age for an umpire to retire. Unlike in other professions, if you're working for the government, you need to go at a particular age. Sri Lanka, I believe it's 60. So it's your own judge. You're your own judge, basically. You know exactly when to go.
Yeah, and I think you'd feel it as an umpire, whether the eyes start to go, whether the enjoyment of the game starts to wane a little bit, I'm sure. But, you know, a lot of these guys come into the game a lot younger now, and I think it's a great thing, the pathway. Oh, is there a little inside edge on that? There was some excitement around the bat, that is for sure.
Just a bit of drift, yes, I think so. I definitely think he did hit it. Not an easy chance, but he's been good at short leg.
Tidy over from Herath, 96 for 1.
What a pleasant surprise.
Mama बहुत strict है, so Mama, this is my friend Kunal.
Hello.
Hi.
आंटी आप लोग कौन?
Meenakshi. You can call me Meenakshi.
लोग तो नोटिस करेंगे. Wildstone Dios for Men.
In the International Champions Cup 2017, Tottenham Hotspur versus Juventus. Saturday, August 5th, 10 p.m. Live and exclusive on Sony 10.2, Sony 10.2 HD.
I want the sun to keep beating down on this surface, and you'd like, from a Sri Lankan point of view, to say that maybe anything under 350 would be a result. Yeah, good edge, wasn't it? Good edge, just lucky for...
So the average first inning score here in the last 5 games for teams batting first. Has been 435. So they
jagging back a little bit high, uncomfortable for Perera.
inner thigh, that's the fleshy area. Of course, batsmen do have protection. A modern batsman is very well protected. In the past, you would just have a thigh pad. You wouldn't have anything there. $97 for 1. Well, Rahul was waving this little kid away. He was right in front of the side screen. But he's in white. So no problem about the attire. What might happen if you placed a fielder there at long off, right in front of the side screen? You mean the batsman would want him waved off? Maybe the green cap.
Can't do anything about that. Field placement. It is what it is. Oh yeah, got him. Brilliant. Quicker ball. It's clipped the outside of off stump, has it?
Okay, the foot's grounded there. Some part of the foot is grounded behind the line. So I'm going to go back, we've got to go to the big screen and load not out, not out.
Oh, there you heard it. I thought it had actually clipped the stumps on the way past. Just the noise, and it all happened very quickly. But nice work from KL Rahul, keeping that foot grounded.
Yeah, he's never been stumped. But I really thought the celebration was about being bold. I really thought that it clipped the stumps because he was so spontaneous. I believe Dickwella thought that his foot just went off the ground, was just lifted. Well, let's not forget Dickwella survived a close one in that test match against Zimbabwe. But good work, good glove work by Dickwella. He was very quick. He certainly thought that he had his man. But again, encouragement for the left arm spinner. Going past the outside edge.
Well, whatever it was a quicker delivery, and it certainly turned a little bit past that edge. Oh, straight away. Rahul down the ground, over the top, picks up his half century, 6th consecutive one in Test match cricket for KL Rahul.
Well, it equals the Indian record. Upper Vishwanath and Rahul Dravid has also had 6 consecutive scores of 50 or more. Just checking. It went all the way.
That's bounced just bounced inside, hasn't it? Four. Aggressive shot. $101 for 1.
ब्रो अब इंडिया हुआ है आइडिया 4G पे हो लुक आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक खाते हुए पकाते हुए चबाते हुए भगाते हुए पर मचा चूडू करो देखो गुरु लुक आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक इंडिया हो गया है आइडिया 4G पे हुक आइडिया 4G इंडिया जितना बड़ा नेटवर्क.
So Dilruwan Perera coming on. Sri Lanka have bowled a lot of spin. But a great response to Rangana Herath. Was beaten the previous one, this time down the track. Good way of taking on the spinners. That's something we have seen in the Indian batting. They've been quite willing to counter the pitch. They've been good with the sweep, but generally good against the spinners coming down the track. Advancing yards down the track. That's a quick 50, relatively quick. 7 fours. So Dilruwan Perera's man. short legs, short mid-wicket. 2 balls to go, possibly the last over before lunch.
Over and lunch, according to umpire Bruce Oxenford. Right on time, 2 overs short in the session, but a pretty good one from an Indian point of view. In the toss, electing to bat first, posted 100 in the first session. And KL Rahul with a half-century.
Well, those are the session stats. 101 runs in 14 overs.
Virat Kohli won the toss at 9:30 this morning. They lost Shikhar Dhawan after an opening partnership of 56. He was out for 35. And KL Rahul and Cheteshwar Pujara have added 45 for the second wicket. 5 bowlers have been tried. Nuwan Pradeep couldn't quite find his line this morning. Herath has caused a few problems here and there. Karunaratne was tried. Dilruwan, Perera and Kumara have been tried as well. 101 for 1.
It's time for the best in tests. It's time for their undisputed dominance. Tomorrow, live on Sony 6 and Sony 10.3.
But when the captain wins the toss on the first morning of a test match, chooses to bat, if his side can take him in to lunch at 100 for 1, then he's largely satisfied with that. Even if the run rates come from about 5.5 and over to about 3.6, 101 for 1 is still a decent score, as Sunil Gavaskar and Ajay Jadeja will. 100 for 1, you take that.
Definitely, definitely. I think once you've won the toss, you want the team to get off to a good, solid start in the session, because the first session is a session when everybody's uncertain how the pitch is going to behave, and clearly there's a little bit of a turn. There's not much carry for the fast bowlers, and the batsmen have taken their time because of the fact that there has been a little slow turn. So this is a very solid start by the Indians. It's a good base, a good foundation for the others to come down and add to it.
कुछ देखा आपने जिससे आपको लगा कि ये बॉलिंग के लिए आगे जाकर अच्छा बन सकता है?
देखिए, बॉलिंग के लिए तो बेहतर ही होता जा रहा है। नॉर्मली आप कहते हैं कि टेस्ट मैच विकेट में पहले दिन जो है थोड़ा हेल्प रहती है, मदद मुश्किल होती है। मैं मानता हूँ आप इस सारे टेस्ट मैच में ये शायद सबसे आसान सेशन था बल्लेबाजी के लिए। यहाँ से मुश्किल ही चला जाएगा, और वो मुश्किल ना ही स्पिनर का होगा। आई थिंक तेज गेंदबाजों का भी गेंद ऊपर रहना शुरू हो जाएगा, क्योंकि इतनी ड्राई पिच यहाँ पे तो मैंने तो कभी पहले देखी नहीं थी। जितने पे भी खेले भी हैं, इससे बेहतर सतह हुआ करती थी। 3 स्पिनर खिलाए उन्होंने, तो उनको तो पता था वो क्या है, और जो हमारे को डाउट था वो अब 2 घंटे का खेल देख लिया। अब इसके बाद
कोई डाउट नहीं।
5वें दिन को
What was interesting was that the wicketkeeper went up straight away. Normally you ask the captain and the captain says, right, should we not? The wicketkeeper was up straight away.
Well, I don't know whether the umpire should be taking a wicketkeeper or a player's view, or should only be the captain be the one who's asking. Clearly, as a batsman, you're the captain now. Have a look at this. The wicketkeeper